All right, everyone, welcome back into another Fantasy Golf video. Going to be breaking down round 2 here of the Travelers Championship. We're going to start off with the top Showdown picks for round 2, and then we're going to try to get into some head-to-head bets, some three-way bets, and also some prize picks and underdog prop bets if that betting data is available while I'm recording this video. But I do first want to start with a quick recap from round 1. So let's start off with something I kind of find funny here. So Adam Scheffner was on the course today following the Rory and Keegan group, which to me just, I don't know about you guys, did it feel out of place? Because to me, it kind of felt out of place. But I'm bringing it up for a reason, and I think the reason is interesting. I think having an actual reporter being able to report on golf and maybe having insider information could end up being huge for the game of golf. Now, I'm not exactly sure it's him at all. I actually really don't think that. But why is it needed? Well, we got Brian Campbell withdrawal news probably before some people woke up. Now, obviously, that didn't really change anyone's weeks at all. But we got Jordan Spieth, okay, citing a back injury and withdrawing. If you guys watched the round, you kind of saw him dealing with that a little bit. And it's one of those things where we need better reporting on golf, but just in general, one, we need an injury report submitted when they finalize whether they're going to be in the field or not. Just a simple box of them checking whether or not they're injured. Like, that's the thing. Have any sort of, it's not that hard. Check a box. Probable, doubtful, something like that. Maybe questionable or whatever. Just do that. 3 boxes for them to check. 1, they're filing for that week's tournament. It's not that hard. But the flip side of that is, it's weird. Like, I felt it was so weird that Shefty was on the course. And I will admit, I'm not the biggest Adam Scheffner fan. Being a Green Bay Packers fan, he's had some weird stories in regards to them in the years, mostly in regards to probably Aaron Rodgers, I would say. And I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of inside reporters in general, guys. Like what the NBA media is trying to do with Giannis his whole career, trying to get him out of Milwaukee, making up stories and narratives that just aren't even true, like just made up out of thin air. Kind of annoying that that's happening and it's happening again. So I'm not the biggest fan of those inside media type of guys. But what are your guys? I'm kind of curious. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think having a golf reporter like that, an actual one, not the Twitter accounts that are just sourcing information from everyone and regurgitating it back to someone, an actual inside reporter that can get the inside scoop, they'll actually tell us when someone's injured or switching to a different club or whatnot. That would be kind of huge to me. Like at the beginning of the season, we didn't know that Sanders Schauffele was dealing with an injury, stuff like that. I do think it is useful. I think there's a place, but I kind of do think it needs to be the right person. I don't know if it's exactly going to be Shefty. And so we go ahead and get into this tournament, guys. And this really, I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly. Probably like I was a little bit. It maybe came off that way in the main video of this week. But this is, I believe, it's the last signature event, right? I'm pretty sure that is. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. I actually think Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, I think he's done a pretty good job. I know a lot of people like to hate on him and dog on him. He's kind of done what he's had to do pretty much. But, you look how much the PGA Tour has grown over his years. It's actually grown the most out of any sport. Revenue's up the most percentage-wise out of any sport as well, the major sports. But these signature events, which he felt forced to do, I hate. I do. Because for like DFS purposes, and it's partially due to Scotty just being a stud and dominating, it's too straightforward with what we're doing. Like, we already know what to do with no-cut events. It's studs and duds, right? But with Scotty, it's play Scotty and then figure it out from there. And that's the theme of this week as well. So it's basically, all right, you got Scotty in your lineups, you're doing well. And so it's a little bit annoying in that regard. And we look at it, the leaderboard, it is Scotty up there. Keegan's doing well. Okay, Keegan was probably set a weird spot, but obviously doing well. From there, nothing too crazy. I was on Nick Taylor, decent amount with Scotty like that. But we look at the ownerships here, guys. Obviously, Scotty soaking up a lot of ownership. And then from there, no one's really playing poorly that was high owned. Daniel Berger, people are probably chasing the stat fit there. Same thing with Substraka, chasing the stat fit there, regardless of the form. It's kind of the issue with this week as well. Definitely an interesting week, though, so far in terms of that. But nothing too crazy ownership-wise. It's kind of just, in a weird way, is what it is type of week where it seems like it's going to be Scotty, a little bit annoying there. And, of course, Austin Eckroat had a also tie for the first round lead, kind of ruining the betting week with Scotty going that low. Seemed like he's going to win. And then Eckroat there as well. So, I don't know. This week just doesn't have as much legs to me, unfortunately. But let's go ahead now and get into those round 2 showdown picks. And so, yes, we go ahead and get into the round 2, guys. So we're going to click on round 2 here. Let's just take a peek at which players are going to be the best projected round 2 picks. And as you would expect, we got Scotty number 1, Xander number 2. Oh, no, sorry. Xander number 1, Scotty number 2, then Rory, then Kyle Morikawa, then Patrick Cantlay. Substraka is expected to bounce back. It is funny, just talking about Xander real quick. I mentioned in the 9 to 5 Discord chat, I'm like, Xander through 9 holes has made it was like 14 feet of putts or something like that, which is insane. He was like last in strokes gained, but he almost lost 3 strokes putting on the front 9 and ends up putting much, much better on the back 9. I was actually a little bit tilted by that because if you guys know Showdown, had he still continued to putt poorly throughout that round, I'd be like, oh, he is the perfect Showdown play. And we saw his regression back to his mean in a positive way happen on that back 9, which was a little bit unfortunate because, again, I think we'd have been on him a little bit more so in round 2 Showdown. And so let's just go ahead and take a peek at which golfers are actually due to regress back in a positive way. We got Substraka, Matt Fitzpatrick, J.J. Spawn, Ludwig Aubert. Another just kind of talking point as well. I know I've kind of dogged on him a decent amount on this channel. I'm curious, is that a thought you guys have? Because is he, to me right now, as it sits, he's currently the most overrated golfer on the PGA Tour. I don't know if you guys see it that way, but I kind of do. Just look at his results after his win. They haven't really been good, and they haven't been consistent. His results this year have just been random, and it's just weird. Like, if you ask people, like, who's the better golfer, Ben Griffin or Ludwig Aubert, I bet like 90% would say Aubert, when it's like definitively not true right now. And that's always the balancing act with that stuff. It was like, what do you mean by right now? What do you mean by who's better, right? Who's going to be better in 12 months from now? I get it. Like, the whole Ryder Cup talk comes down to that as well. Like, a lot of people are saying Ben Griffin shouldn't be in it, but the Ryder Cup's like 99 days away right now. And I think it's kind of an interesting talking point because, like, I see a lot of people post that on X, and it's like, all right, if we're doing that talk, we got to have a proper framework in place for someone that's posting that. Because if I was posting that, I'd be basing off of how I expect players to be playing, 100 days from now compared to how they are still playing right now. Because obviously, if we were playing the Ryder Cup tomorrow, Ben Griffin would have 100% be making the team, like, no doubt. Brooks Koepka would 100% not be making the team. But it does depend on how they are playing leading up into the event. And that's why, I don't know, it's kind of a weird point with Aubert because he's going to make the team regardless, but he is not playing good golf. And so a lot of people are like saying, oh, that Euro team's loaded. And I'm like, based off of how they're playing right now, not at all. Like, everyone would be betting on USA to win by a hefty margin based off of how good golfers like Ben Griffin, for example, are playing right now. So just an interesting talking point there. Probably a little bit too much fluff, guys. I apologize there. Let's get into some of the live strokes gained stats here, and we'll go ahead and get into kind of the top lineup process. So I do want to take a peek here at the strokes gained putting. Let's take a peek at the live season and what not stats. So which golfers putted much better, okay, in round 1 compared to how they typically would? A lot of golfers putted worse than they typically do. Okay, Sam Stevens was in 4 strokes putting. That's insane. Holy crap. That was terrible. No dies in almost last place. That's crazy. Siwoo Kim, May, someone that I think we could expect to bounce back. Substraka, 3 strokes. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Let's flip this around. Who putted well? That's probably not going to. Taylor Pendrith. Not too crazy, but yeah, obviously not going to gain 3 strokes putting. Typically, Austin Eckroat, only 3.5. And I say that because, well, obviously he had a good day, but only 3.5 strokes gained putting. To me, given the round that he had, I would have actually thought that might be a little higher, but that's still pretty good. Sanjay M, 3. Yeah, all those golfers, I think we can expect to have a poor day putting easily. We're probably still getting to Scotty, but nothing like too crazy that's popping up to me there in terms of, all right, which is a golfer that maybe putted poorly in round 1 that we can get to, that we'd want to get to. No one really. I mean, for value purposes, maybe Jonathan Vegas. Like, if we're doing studs and does builds, I think we can do that. But overall, I don't know if we necessarily need to. So let's just take a peek at kind of what the optimal lineup is looking like right now. Substrack, I don't know if you guys want to get to that. Let's see. How much is he getting? 65 without setting any sort of exposure caps. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily love that. Let's see here. Xander's still there. Probably going to want to get to more of Scotty. So let me jump back into the player time. I'm going to jump up Scotty here. Let's hit the lock button on him. Let's ensure that we're getting, 60% of Scotty. And let's see kind of what the lineups look at instead here. All right, so we got 60% Scotty. Still, I don't need to get to much of Substraka, but that does lower down the exposure to Substraka a decent amount. Now, I think I'm actually going to take a slightly different approach. I'm going to use the 9 to 5 custom model here, guys, for round 2. And so what I'm going to be looking at instead is I'm probably going to do studs and duds mostly. I think that's just the route to go. Now, some of the mid-exposure plays can certainly go off. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to go as crazy with this approach if you guys don't want to. But we're going to do that. And then we're also going to look at the round 2 showdown rank. So round 2 showdown. And that's basically what we're going to be running this base off of. So the way it's set up is, yes, you're still going to get some golfers that are good round 2 showdown plays, but the golfers that are 9K and above are the golfers going to be valued more. Now, I do like Russell Henley. That's something that maybe we could adjust a little bit. But let's just go ahead and run this and see kind of what it spits out to us. All right, so kind of the lineup approach that it goes with then is Hideki, Vegas trying to get to that, kind of decent putting day. So a little bit better, I would say. Let's see. We're still getting 45% Scotty, Luke Clanton, Ben Griffin, Bazoon out. So I'm okay with this. I don't know if I necessarily love it. Let's see if I can manipulate this a little bit more. And so I'm going to put the min and max ownerships back in there just as an FY. And let's see. I want to at least probably get to 15% Xander because he is popping up as much as he is. And at least 45 Scotty. We'll do that. And then are there any value plays that I want to get to? So we're going to sort it by his salary. And let's just see. Are there any players that I want to get to? I do like Nick Taylor still. We'll get to him. I don't think what he did was a fluke. Max Gracerman as well. I like him a decent amount. We'll get to about 15% of him. And let's see. Any other golfers here that I think can score? I'm fine getting to Vegas that much. Kind of fine with the rest of it, honestly. Maybe we could cap some ownerships a little bit. Harry Hall is solid, but he's priced up. So it is tougher to do studs and duds is what we're seeing here. But let's go ahead and just take another peek at what we're seeing here instead. So a little bit more balance. Probably don't need to get to Shane Lowry. I'll tell you that much. I might exit him out. But yeah, we're getting to a lot of Scotty then. Might bump up my exposure to Xander a little bit more. But it is still naturally doing that studs and duds approach. So if you guys like that, you guys can roll with that. Obviously, export it right here, and then you're good to go. So guys, we're going to jump now into some round 2 bets. We are getting some 3-way bets. And like round 1, the only one that I really like, even though the payout is even worse, is Russell Henley to beat Nick Dunlap. It's the only bet that has a over 53% likelihood to hit. So it's a 3-way bet. He's likely to win that and not tie. I'm okay with that. But the odds are just terrible, right? So that's kind of the issue that we have. If you're looking for like a good bet, I don't know if I need to get to Substraka, but like Harris English over Lucas Glover, I think I'd be fine with as well. But not one that I want to force in there. And then part of that, as we jump into head-to-head bets, is a lot of the same bets are going to be popping up as 3-way bets are some head-to-head bets as well. So if you like Substraka to bounce back in round 2, you could bet him to just beat Aaron Rye, but also have the chance for it to tie. I think I would like that route a little bit better. Let's see here. Are there any bets though that I think stand out to me as good bets? I could go with Xander figuring out in the front 9 and beating Colin Morikawa because on that back 9 he did go off. Minus 105 for Colin Morikawa, for Xander to beat Colin Morikawa on DraftKings. I think I'm okay with that. Don't need to go crazy with that though. And that's probably it for head-to-head bets as well. So tighter. And this is why I don't like the signature bets. It's like, oh, we got maybe 2 bets that we can roll with. I don't necessarily love that. And guys, we're going to transition now into some underdog prop bets. We're not getting any prize picks prop bets, unfortunately. But chances are they're going to end up being the same. I will say I do like these under bogeys or worse prop bets. They're typically, in terms of the scores, golfers are typically averaging about 1.5 bogeys or worse. To me, it is tough to imagine someone like Ben Griffin getting 3 bogeys. Same thing with Robert McIntyre there at 2.5. To me, those are 2 bets that do stand out. Now, if you guys want to, I actually don't mind these as well. Eric Cole and Lucas Glover to score 4 birdies. There's a lot of opportunities out there. 4.5 birdies or so on average is what players typically get. So I honestly think these top 4 are the best bets. Now, if you put those all together in a bet slip, it's not going to be worth it. So you'd have to pair it up like this. You'd have to pair it up Ben Griffin, Eric Cole, Ben Griffin, Lucas Glover. You need to do 2 opposite bets somewhat, although that's still going to reduce it because it is in a way still betting on how the course is going to play. Okay, but it wouldn't be as reduced as doing 2 birdie or better prop bets together. But you have to do 2 slip bets there with that. Unfortunately, that's kind of just how it goes because, again, Underdog, they know what they're doing now where they're just going to significantly reduce that. So those are the top 4 prop bets. Sub to you guys, kind of basically your betting strategy, how you want to go about implementing and using those. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys being here. Good luck with all the bets that you place for round 2. Hopefully it goes better than round 1. Same thing with round 2 Showdown, guys. Very interesting tournament, obviously, thus far. If you guys would like access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, make sure to head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to all the tools for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Thank you for watching. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.